I'm coming up, so you better get this party started. Oh, such a skunky hoe. Why am I singing that skunky hoe song? All right, we've got 3, so it's late. It is late in the UK. 11:30. Have we got any night owls? But also that means it's about 6 p.m. in the US. So for 25 to 30% of my subscribers, this could be perfect. We shall see. Is it going to be a flop? More importantly, I haven't got Thanatos, as if I've lost Thanos. Oh, bloody hell. More importantly, we're on OBS. Now, we're going to have to find a new use for this emoji because Sophie has been blocked on all channels now. So we're going to use this as a remembering of what Sophie brought to the live streams. And we will find some people that replicate her energy that we can bring this one out for. Hello, Anu, how are you? We've got a very good one in the chat. That's a good sign. So, not expecting a great deal from this stream. Oh my goodness. Look who's not gone to bed yet. Rachel's in the house. Rachel, what are you doing up at this hour? To be fair, it's only 11:30. So I'm not expecting big things. I imagine we're only going to do an hour because, you know, Rachel's going to have to get to bed for her slave job. So unless a load of Americans come on the stream, you know, I'm kind of hoping that, dare I say, I have enough of a worldwide audience now that I can live stream at any time. But I don't think that's true. Rachel, what does we think? Very beautiful. Ooh. If I'm in the middle of a screen, I cover up the bloody flowers. That's no good, is it? Got to get those high vibrations through the screen because they're not going to come from me, are they? So they need to come from some flowers. As I'm a grandiose narcissist with no spiritual acumen at all and no wisdom, and I'm just lying. Everything I say is a lie. You know, it's amazing how the haters are so disconnected from truth and what it takes to, you know, be whatever, to be what I am. That they honestly think you could just lie your way through this. Like, they don't understand people watch me because I'm authentic and vulnerable. Okay, this is not looking good at all. 22 people after 2 minutes. I feel like a twat. 2 comments. What the hell are we going to do? Are we going to have to end the stream because this isn't good? This is the first time I felt self-conscious at the start of a live stream for quite a while. And that self-consciousness comes from, what the hell am I going to say? There's no comments. What, do I tell you about the date I had last night? Well, he might be watching, so I can't do that. I've made a cardinal error and told him I'm a YouTuber. So obviously he's subscribed to my channel, so now I can't tell you all about him. That's annoying. Marshall's so good at that. Like, he didn't even tell his family he was a YouTuber. His mum found his YouTube once he had 25,000 subscribers. I mean, that just shows how much better of a human Marshall is than me. Like, when I made my YouTube channel, every fucking needed to know about it because obviously I was of the ego. And it was on my Facebook and, you know, and obviously for me, my story was here. They're all coming in now. We've got some right good ones. Fuck me, we're all here. My story was, but you know, I'm promoting my channel. Of course, everyone needs to know. But no, it was ego. It was just fucking like, why did I tell my parents about my YouTube? I mean, it's fine. Like, my parents are great, and no one gives a fuck what anyone thinks. Or, sorry, I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks, I should say. It has caused some problems. It's upset my mum quite a few times, but I think she's got it now. I think she's got like, oh, right, yeah, this, like, you know, this is what he does. It's a real job, and he does it by being really honest and funny. So I think she's got it. I think she's got it. I mean, if I really, really spoke about her, I'd get a text saying, don't do that. But, you know, to the levels that I do speak about her, I think she's fine with now. Also, she doesn't watch the live streams, I imagine. Fingers crossed. I imagine she's probably clicked on a few of them and it's just been too much for her. I mean, just 3 hours of content would be, it's just not how she consumes content, like she's used to fucking BBC, like shit spoon feeding her, She's not used to having to think. Anyway, this is about my mother. Caluso, how are you? Ludwig has returned from slave camp. He's too knackered to cook. We'll have a few ales and then retire. So, as in it's 11:30 at night, Ludwig. Like, presumably you returned 5 hours ago, or have you got a slave job that is awkward hours, and have you just got in? And it was so traumatic. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh at you. I'm just laughing at the situation humanity finds itself in. So traumatic that you now need to poison yourself and knock yourself out, which is very understandable. My man, C Plebs, is in the house. Hello, Brian. I feel like you may be new to the live stream. Big welcome. Michael wants to let you all know donkeys can't fly. Well, Anu, it's been fantastic. Anu is asking how my day is. It's been wonderful. It's just been tremendous. I mean, I did find myself at one point wondering what the hell to do with my miserable existence. So I'd scheduled 1 Tom Greatrex video, 2 English refugee videos. I'm highly demoted after yesterday's, 2 days ago now, not today's Satan video, but got 2,000 views. I'm just like, well, that's not worth it. Like, yeah, I'm not saying that. Of course, I will make another Not Today's Satan video again. I will probably do it today. But I didn't have any pull to make a Not Today's Satan video yesterday. That's not true. I did start attempting. So I started attempting to make my first Not Today's Satan video using OBS, which is a game changer and should make it a lot better once I master it. Hello, little buzz. Sorry, I'll try not to get too distracted by the cats. And then, so I'm putting all the clips in tabs, new for me, never done this before, only ever done it on my phone. Very stressful for me using a computer, but obviously I appreciate that's just because it's new and soon this will be a lot better. And it's got these free software on, let's not get into all that. And then the tabs start moving around. Now, of course, I spacked it up. And I'm not willing to accept that, so I'm making up this story that the tabs started moving around. But I swear the tabs started moving around. I swear I saw it. But the mind and the ego is so strong and powerful. I think the trans movement and the mental somersaults they do from truth, and the mental somersaults for haters, and Sophie does in the chat from truth, and Callie is currently on my mouse, so that's not much use. Well, I do it too, not to that degree, but I do it too. So I think, I can only imagine that I messed up the order of the tabs and couldn't really accept that. So I've made up this story that the computer moved them all around. So I still think the computer did, but I accept that I'm probably insane and deluded. Hello, how was my day? So then I found myself like just sort of sitting and feeling the like insane desire to create more content, but knowing that it was coming. If you watched the latest Tom Greatrex video, you'll know what I'm speaking about. But knowing it was just coming from, addiction and coping and not wanting to be with myself. And then I went on a date. I know, crazy. I even used deodorant. I used deodorant for the first time in 5 years. I mean, it is a natural deodorant, supposedly. However, when you look at the ingredients list, you're like, I don't think this is natural. It's one my mother gave it me because she was so mortified by how much I smelled like a human. When I lived with her, she couldn't cope with me smelling like a human, and she thought it was the worst thing in the world because obviously she lives in the minds of others and only lives through what others think about her. So to her, it was just like incomprehensible that somebody would be comfortable just smelling like a human. So she kept forcing all these, well, not forcing, because obviously I was just like, no, stop being a fucking pleb, leave me alone. Started trying to force all these products upon me. And she offered these products to me. And I was just like, no, don't be so silly. Stupid woman, get in the kitchen. And then she was like, sorry to other women in my chat, although I think you know that I'm just knocking feminism, not women. So it looks like we haven't got any women tonight, actually, apart from Rachel. And she's manly as fuck. No, I'm only joking. So I did. I was zombie enough when I packed my stuff to come to Asia. One of the many deodorants she offered me One of the many natural deodorants she offered me was that one. And I put it in my bag. And I suppose I put it in my bag thinking, you know, at some point I'm going to want some sex or maybe a date. I mean, I don't think I'd have thought about a date, but some sex. And, you know, maybe I'll use deodorant. Obviously, it's just stayed in my bag. Obviously, yeah, 5 years now I haven't used any deodorant because obviously it's, you know, the stupidest thing in the world. Putting chemicals on your glands. I wonder if that's going to cause a big C. And then I went on a date today, so I thought, you know, I can't turn up as a smelly, sweaty mess. I mean, I'm going to be a sweaty mess because I'm in Cambodia and I sweat a lot. But, you know, maybe I could do something about the smell. So I put the deodorant on and he didn't seem to pick up on the fact that I'm a sweaty, smelly mess. So that was nice. I even put some clean pants on. I even mopped my floor, but I made it worse. I made my floor worse by mopping it. This is how bad I am at like 3D woman stuff. I made my flat worse by mopping it. I don't know what else to say. It was worse. I mean, it's probably not worse, but I didn't make it much better. And I forgot to remove the cat shit from behind the sofa. So we met in a cafe, and then when I brought him in, it just stank of cat shit, man. I was like, oh, fuck. Oh, well, he digged it. The 8 inches didn't come out. It was a proper date. I think that deserves £5. Or is everyone triggered because it's gay? The Duke of Death is in the house. How are you finding Cambodia in vibe, people-wise, versus Vietnam? Just a whole nother level, just completely different. I've spoken about this a lot, so I won't go into it too much because the regulars will get bored. But Vietnam is amazing, wonderful. The people are fantastic, but it's absolute chaos, mayhem, noise, zero social awareness. Out here, it is really calm, really peaceful, really beautiful. The people are even better looking. They're better in every way. There's not a single way that Vietnam wins. You know, Cambodia wins in every single metric, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, even I was going to say, I guess Vietnam would win in terms of hedonism and noise, but you know, you can find that here too. But it's just not in your face and everywhere like it is in Vietnam. So yeah, Cambodia just wins in every single regard. It's just so much better. The only things it doesn't win in is cost of living, considerably more expensive, like 25% more expensive, and heat. Now, don't forget, I was living in Dalat, so I was 1,500 meter elevation. So when I talk about Vietnam, I'm talking about Dalat. Obviously, Vietnam is very hot in many places, but if you're in Dalat, it's not. So I've gone from 24 degrees to 35 degrees. So that's the only thing that I preferred about Vietnam was the fact that, that it was 24 degrees where I was living. There's not one other thing I prefer. What's plans for the rest of the year? Or are you staying in Cambodia now? Yeah, I'm done, mate. I'm finished. I've got pussies. I've got the pussy sitting on my face. No, I wasn't expecting it either. I was determined not to do a live tonight. But I woke up at 5 a.m. I went to bed at 10 a.m., so I got good sleep. I woke up with no stories about doing a live stream, no pressure at all. And then, you know, I was awake, it was 5:30, and then I'm into like, okay, I've got to face myself. I've got to be with myself. I've got to, and this is obviously for everyone, but most people don't even know that this is an issue for them. They just start doing and think that that's normal, but no, like, it's not normal. Like, you should be able to just sit and be. However, I can't do that. So then it's like, well, what am I going to do? Like, do I start editing now at 5 in the morning? I don't really have any video ideas. It's really wet outside. No, well, I'm just going to live stream and see what happens. But I'm doing it with a much less expectation energy. So I'm only expecting to do an hour. I'm not really expecting any money. I mean, I kind of am, but I'm not like making that my be all and end all. Like there's an understanding that in the likelihood I will get a bit of money, but I'm not like, oh my God, I've got to make some money. I really noticed the difference as well in terms of like, so I set it for 20 minutes, I scheduled it 20 minutes time. And usually about 20 minutes is very stressful for me, mainly because of technology, but obviously just because of a story that I've got that this is important, that what we're doing here is even important, or that I'm important. No, nothing's important, nothing matters. So, yeah, the 20 minutes this time was really chilled, was really like, just like, I'm just taking my time, and if I'm late, I'm late. And guess what? I was sat here 2 minutes early for the first time, and I did a solid poo. Just look what happens when you don't fucking spaz out like this one. Talking of spazzing out, hi Rachel. Was watching your shopping video with Lee and you popped up being off work for a month, needed time out. Oh, that's why you can join us so late. Beetroot been lowering my blood pressure since eating it every day. No more tablets. Fantastic. Get on the boot. Stick it in your clunge. I had a mad mushroom trip today, man. It sounds like you're an absolute psychonaut, Cluso. In fact, of course you are. It seems like you've done mushrooms on the last 2 times we spoke, and you're about to do DMT this weekend. Fantastic. All for it. I had a mad mushroom trip today, man. It was like my consciousness was creating everything around me. I've had that one. Amazing. It's unbelievable. Well, isn't it? Yeah, so this was that. You know when I talk about my 15-gram mushroom trip where I became consciousness? Well, that led up to it. So is it something like this, Cluso? You're listening to music and then you think about something and the song changes based on what you thought, and then eventually you realize that that happens 15 times, and you're just like, and one song can be 5 seconds long, one song can be 3 hours long, and the songs are changing based on your thought, and then suddenly you recognize that and you start like so then I started. What happened to me is I recognized that was happening, and I started playing with it. I was like, well, put this song on, boom, on. Put this song on, boom, on. And then that's when I popped through into consciousness. So you're still describing it as your consciousness. So it sounds like you didn't pop through into consciousness, but it sounds like you're the stage before that in terms of just based on what you've said there. So yeah, amazing, mate. Amazing. I really resonate. I'm really excited for you. Like you're man, like I can really remember this, and I don't mean it as in like, well, it is. There's no way of saying it. Well, fuck it. Who cares what people think? I can just remember this experience for myself, and it's fucking amazing. And I can remember how profound it is, and what a key point it is, and how important the medicine is for this stage. But also, mate, you'll be amazed. Like soon you won't be doing medicine. Like once you become consciousness, which it sounds like you're, another 5 grams away from. How much did you take? Put another 5 grams on there, and then rather than it was like my consciousness, it will become your consciousness. No separation, total oneness. Bang another 5 grams on next time, mate. I did 15 to experience that. And I know you have no fear, Cluso. Will you be doing my part to fight the globalists as a pleb by applying for my part? Why would I do anything for you? How stupid. And I like you, mate, but like I just need to point out the entitlement in this, and I don't do it to ridicule this person. I like this person. I do it to help the consciousness. Well, let's read the comment first, but there's like the entitlement here, the expectation here. And obviously that comes from disempowerment and fear. Like he feels he needs others to do what he can't. Oh, sorry, I totally misread it. Fuck's sakes. Sorry, Duke of Death. I thought you were better than that. He's stating he will be doing his part. He's making no requests of me whatsoever. Everything I just said there was complete bollocks. Apologies. It is 5 in the morning and I've only had 2 sips of coffee. And there's a fucking wire over the comment. It's really shit. Will be doing my part to fight the globalists as a pleb by applying for a conscientious objector status. No way I'm grafting into World War III. Yeah, I mean, I don't even need to play their game. Like I'm not going on their websites and doing their shit. So I'm all for that. And if you live in the UK, it's probably quite sensible. But it won't work. I mean, just look at Ukraine and the meat grinder and the abductions and the vans grabbing white people and sending them to white people, meat grinders. So it won't work. And really, if you're in the UK, you're a sitting duck. So I've just gone for, getting out of their system and effing it off. I'm not ticking any of their fucking boxes. However, I would do if I was in your position. Hi, Chris. Loving the elephant shirt. Thank you. It's a Thailand special. It's a very standard tourism t-shirt. And I'm such a tourist today. These shorts, man, like all the tourists have these shorts. And then they get the thin trouser version as well, which lasts about 4 days. I've done all of these things, as you can see. Oh, we've got some love. The jewels have been thrown in from Eric. Thank you, Eric, for the jewels. I mean, the fact that he puts 2 lots in. So to me, my understanding is 10 jewels is worth 3 pence. So Eric obviously is like, well, I really like this guy, so I'm going to give him 2 lots of jewels. He's going to get 6 pence. I just find it bizarre. Like, I get it from wanting to give and wanting to be able to give every stream to many YouTubers. So obviously you make your £10 into a load of gifts. I get it. But then for you to throw 2 lots in as if it makes some difference, as if there's a difference between 3 pence and 6 pence, is interesting. Is genuinely interesting. What's my star sign? Can we get some guesses into the chat and then I'll answer the question. What do people think I am, other than mentally ill and narcissistic? Michael replied and made a video answering my question about the poison smoking and the spike receptors. Has he asked you if folk can make donations through you, Tom, and he doesn't have a bank account? No, of course not, because he's not a disempowered fool like you, Rachel. He can do it himself. It's his decision to not have a bank account, and therefore he's going to struggle to get donations. He's going to have to deal with that. That's all part of his lesson and his learning. It's all part of his journey. We're not going to try and drag him backwards by plebbing around like Rachel. So no, that's nonsense, Rachel. Don't be so silly. Wow, people are loving your t-shirt. Victoria is a woman, and she's a very good one, but you're not influenced by feminism, are you, Victoria? Or if you ever were, you're starting to see through it. Anu makes his own deodorant. Of course he does. Shade Julix is in and saying hello to all. How long are you planning on staying in this lovely building? Quite a long time. I mean, if I imagine at some point I'm going to go on Facebook and see a house and be like, I want that house. But there's no need. So I'm leaving this apartment in 4 days, but I'm staying in the complex. I'm moving into the best apartment in the complex in 4 days. So once I'm in there, it's going to take a very special house to get me out of here. Which I imagine will happen one day, but there's no, I'm not seeking, I'm not searching. I'm very, very happy here. Shade is in love with Tom. Shade is a filthy scumbag. Oh, wow, that's interesting. What makes you think your opinion has any value? What makes you, like, these people are so in the minds of others and so live by the minds of others, i.e. have no sense of self, that would bother them. It might bother Shade Julix, actually. So they assume that in some way I'm going to be affected by that, or I mean, obviously I can't speak for Shade Julix, but it just amazes me. It just amazes me that they think that that's going to have any effect on anything. I mean, it's certainly not going to have any effect on me. But they can only perceive from their own level of perception, which is retarded. Sorry, it's repressed. It's very repressed. And they haven't met themselves. Just joined. How's it going, chat? Hello, Midnight Angel. Welcome. I feel like you're new. Spen is in the house. Awesome. Always good to have Spen here, man. just the idea of Spen being here makes me smile. The guy is so funny. Okay. Have you done any Qigong or yoga or sitting meditation? Whatever in my life? No. Yeah, mate. Just a bit. I used to own an 8,000 square foot shadow work center, which had float tanks, saunas, yoga studios, every single therapy you could ever imagine. So yeah, I'm a little bit aware, mate. Caloso! I was sat down on the beach, was thinking about cyclists, and all of a sudden, an army of cyclists just appeared. Oh, right, okay, yeah. So I think you used the word my. Honestly, mate, if you'd have broke through to what I experienced, you wouldn't be using the word my. But I think you've pretty much experienced it, but you're just still a bit too repressed that you're making it about you and rather than, what really happened. Was thinking about cyclists, and all of a sudden an army of cyclists just appeared out of nowhere. So many things happened. It was like I was spawning humans. Yeah, you were consciousness. You were experiencing yourself. your actual self, consciousness. But you're still just a bit too repressed to acknowledge what it was, and you're still making it from your perception. No, that was consciousness. You were being shown. Or not being shown, because that applies if there's something outside of you to show you. There's nothing to show you. You were experiencing yourself. You were on the edge of consciousness. How does that feel, Calypso? Oh, let's get a few demons out. So this person definitely has this energy and is an absolute clown and needs a bit of that as well. Wow, what a fucking horrendous human being. That we send you lots of love and blessings on your journey. We can see how much pain you're in. Your projection and hatred obviously shows that. So sending you lots of love, but we are Kung Fu Pandering you without the Kung Fu Panda because I forgot to find the GIF. Ah, bless him, man. No shits tonight. There's a cat shit behind the sofa. There's a solid cat shit behind the sofa because I raw feed my cats. So obviously they do very good poos. The person that I got them off is still a bit repressed, so she gave me a packet of poison, what people call cat food. And because I'm a tight-ass Yorkshireman, she gave me 3 of them. I've been using them. I've used 2. And every time I've done it, the cat shits have turned to liquid. So the 3rd one's gone in the bin. I will never be poisoning my cats with what you guys think is cat food ever again. They will only ever be eating raw meat from now on. So there's 2 shits behind the sofa. The cat litter is being used, I'm very happy to say. So there's quite a bit of shit in there. But no shits have come out of my ass. Well, I just did a very solid one. I did a really solid good. We got a plump. You know, when you get a plump, you know it's good. No splashback, which was a relief because my toilet hasn't been cleaned for a month. And my date saw it last night. That was embarrassing. But, you know, I've got 8 inches, so it doesn't really matter. Right, back to Cluso. It was like I was creating my own family, a happy black family walked past, no race mixing, followed by a happy white family behind them, then a black woman wearing a number 11 t-shirt. Why did you want to see other blacks? And why did one need to be in an 11 t-shirt? But yeah, that's not important. Don't answer my silly questions. The overview is much more important, and your experience was profound, amazing. We are about to see their plans. So just to let you know, guys, if I don't get any money, then I will stop on the hour mark. So, you know, if you want more than an hour, consider donating. We are about to see their plans unfold any day now. How it plays out, not too sure. Be ready for anything. Yeah, I mean, I would suggest that it started thousands of years ago, but it's speeding up. It's the end game now, like Agenda 2030. You'll own nothing and be happy. So by 2030, they'll have been exposed, and it will all have fallen apart, or will all be enslaved in smart cities. So yeah, like as the beast dies, it lashes out. So this is my perspective. I believe the beast is dying. I believe we will win. And I think it's so insane because basically the head of the beast is being chopped off and now it's lashing out through the nervous system, you know, and going crazy. I think that's where we're at. But of course, you know, it all depends on you plebs and how much you stand up and how much you wake up and whether they win or not, you know. I'm doing my bit. I'm trying to wake as many people up as I can. But sadly, not sadly, but, you know, sadly for the repressed pleb, the answer isn't this, it's actually this. Now, of course, you know, there is 1 or 2 external actions that might be aligned, but really everything needs to be coming in here, which is what I'm really trying to encourage, because once you come in here, as Cluso is finding out, they can't really touch you anyway. And when I saw a woman with a number 11 shirt, which used to be my lucky number, okay, there's the relevance, a random guy came up to me and offered me some of his joint. I was like, what the fuck? So I was like, what the fuck? That's the conditioning. You're starting to realize that actually no, synchronicity is normal. And life is very simple and very obvious. But when we're coming from the mind, it's very complicated. So actually, all of this is exactly how life works. But because you've spent, I'm just going to assume you're 40 years old. I feel like you're a bit older than me, actually. I'm going to say 50. Because you've spent 50 years being a conditioned, repressed person, it is like, what the fuck? Like when you go from coincidence to synchronicity, it's very shocking. But actually, the more you lean into synchronicity and accept synchronicity and understand synchronicity and flow in synchronicity, the more obvious it becomes, and the more like, oh yeah, of course, it's always been like this. Like, of course, it's very simple. Of course, everything reflects itself. This is really obvious. Thank you, Fan Out. Thank you for the motivation. I really appreciate that. I really do. So if anybody else wants to be loving and give back like Fan Out has, you know, it doesn't need to be a big amount of money. Just a little bit makes a huge difference, and it's very much appreciated. Right, Eric thinks I'm a Scorpio. Nathan thinks I'm a pussy. That is funny. So my ex is back. Ex is way too strong a word. Somebody I went on 3 dates with who has an 11-inch dick went on. I went on a few dates with is in the chat, which is fucking fantastic. He was always quite funny. I did quite like Nathan. I'll admit, I did quite like him. Star sign pussy. That's very good, Nathan. Nathan, can you answer my questions from the other night? I feel like they were good. I know one of them was, did you get jabbed? I'm pretty sure you will have got jabbed. Presumably you're a lonely gay man now. Is it like being a gay man when you haven't awoken and you still like, you know, want a partner and stuff is so miserable past the age of 30. You've got no chance. So I imagine Nathan is living quite a lonely life, but I also imagine he's not honest enough to admit that. We'll see. I don't know. I think he could be quite honest, but I bet he did take the jib jab. Nathan, can you answer my questions, please? And none of it's judgment. I'm just really interested. And how's the 11 inches? The chat won't like that, Nathan. Don't answer that. No, fuck it. Answer it. Who cares? Some of the chat are pretty cool, actually. A lot of the chat are pretty cool. But a lot of them will get triggered by us talking about dicks. Tom, the shopping video was a little odd. Vietnam is the biggie. Okay. Vietnam is the second biggest coffee producer after Brazil. Cambodia is amazingly cheap and great food and drink. No, it's not. It's really not. Yeah, you'll be amazed. It's really not. Like, okay, if you go to, so I have found cheap coffee now. I found coffee that's comparable to Vietnam, so that's no problem. But rent is definitely 25% more. You know, like coconut oil. I bought a liter of coconut oil in Vietnam for $4. Out here, the best I found is 15. So there's certain products that are not cheap in Cambodia. Like there's certain products that are English prices. And if you don't go to the market, coffee is one of them. There's a huge difference. There's at least, well, I say a 25% difference. Like there's a 25, rent is definitely 25% more than Vietnam. But then you get some products like coconut oil that's like, is that 100 times more? It's 4 times more. So that'd be 400% more, wouldn't it? 4 times more. Like, that's crazy. So I disagree, Solar. Great channel. I think you are a Cancer. I was like number 9. So nobody's got it right so far. Taurus, no. I knew he was a woman. Oh my God, why are they all women? And like they're really reframing my projections onto women. I'm starting to realize that women are okay through this chat. Thank you, women. Hi, Tom. Mercury retrograde tomorrow. Oh my God, it's always fucking Mercury retrograde. When I lived in a community centre where there were loads of love and lighters, like all anyone ever, because obviously no one wanted to take responsibility, no one wanted to do the self-work. So they'd just go around like, Mercury retrograde, Mercury retrograde. Now, I'm sure there's something in it, but I've just been so repulsed by love and lighters using it as an excuse to not look at themselves that I just don't give a fuck. I'm sorry, but I just can't. Like, I've heard it being used in the wrong ways way too many times. He said to ask you to make donations through Tom until he gets his own Buy Me a Coffee set up. Will this be okay with you? Obviously, he hasn't asked you yet. No, I don't think so. I think he needs to do his own thing. Like, I think this is his disempowerment. This is his. I think I'd be reinforcing his shadow. Obviously, I'll speak to him about it. You know, maybe he'll change my mind. But I think my judgment, and it's just my judgment, is that Michael is really repressed when it comes to money and everything related to it. So I don't want to, I don't know. I honestly don't know, because I really respect Michael, and of course I want to help him. But also, so I think the whole bank account thing is actually repression and fear. I don't think it works because he has to do stuff like this. I mean, you could say it's trust and flow. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. So right now the answer is no, Rachel. But it might change. How did the date go, Tom? Did you enjoy yourself? What is on my YouTube? Yeah, I did. It went really well and I really enjoyed myself. I can't be drafted to World War III because I'm a schizophrenic with poor peripheral vision. Fantastic. Every cloud has a silver lining. I didn't need to say that second bit. I should have just said every cloud, and most of you would have been intelligent enough to work it out. So, hi, Tom. I'm a chat from sunny Scunthorpe. So it looks like the guesses of my star sign have ended. I'm amazed you can't tell because I'm so balanced and rational and chilled. Of course, I'm a Libra. What the fuck was you hacked up and chucked? There's a window. I'm licking the window. What advice? Nathan, how's the 11 inches? Did you get jabbed? Don't pussy out. Come on, Nathan. Come on, Nathan. I'm at the bottom of the chat. There's no more Nathan. Nathan, you can't pop in with a funnyism and then be too repressed to fucking answer the questions. Come on, Nathan. Oh. Haha, sofa shits. I love it. Okay, that's out of context. I don't know what sofa shits are. Oh, the cat sofa shits. They're not on the sofa, they're behind the sofa. I've been there for about a week. So before the day, I did start mopping the floor and I just made it worse. It was so bad. I can't clean. And then I thought, you know what, I really should pick up those cat shits. And then it got too close to time and I forgot. And then I brought him in here and I was like, oh yeah, it stinks of cat shit. Fuck. Oh well, I'm super cool, funny, and I have an 8-inch long, so it'll be fine. Right, here we go. I think this is where we're at. What advice would you give to someone who lives with their parents still in the UK and is in their 20s if you were at that age now? Well, I'd say don't judge yourself and don't shame yourself, first of all. You know, the society conditions, you know, we're still Michael broke this down really well in the video we did. We're still working on conditioning and ways of being from 20, 30, 40 years ago that worked and don't work now. So there's still this judgment on people your age living at home, which is based on what life was like in the 1990s or even the 80s and 70s. So accept that, you know, actually in this day and age, it's more than normal. It's like kind of inevitable, really. I mean, how at the age of 20 are you supposed, like, you either do what I did and sell big bags of green herbs or you live with your parents. Of course, there's going to be the odd one that creates something online. There's going to be the odd one that creates a business. And of course, they're the ones you see on Instagram and TikTok and they make you feel shit. But, you know, they're 1%. They're not even 1%. So, you know, presumably you have a job that you can barely survive on. Like, of course you live with your parents. Okay, but you want to change that. What's the advice? Fucking hell. You've just got to be tenacious and you've got to make it happen. You know, you've just got to know it's going to happen and make it happen. So for me, it's hard for me to answer this because I've never been repressed when it comes to making money and creating things. Like, that's always come very naturally to me. But also, you know, was very much inspired by fear. And, you know, I'm not saying, oh, I'm just some amazing, you know, enlightened being that could naturally make money. No. It came through deep material addiction. It came through love addiction. It came through wanting to impress Nathan and his 11 inches with my big house because I didn't think I was enough. But there is also, you know, on the other side, there is also a high intellect that runs through me and just a tenacity and a determination. So I never had a job. You know, I've had like 2 jobs and they've never lasted, other than like when I was 16 and stuff like that. But as an adult, I never had a job for more than 2 months, and I only tried it twice. I just couldn't be a slave. So it's hard for me to answer if you don't have that. I mean, maybe you are destined to have what I would call a disempowered life. Maybe that's your dharma. You know, if you're working in an office and you can't see a way out of it, and you don't even have any belief that you could create something, then maybe my answer isn't going to resonate with you, because my answer is based on my experience, which is the experience of somebody that was selling sweets in school from the age of 12, who was very entrepreneurial, who was very tenacious, and who saw through the system at a very young age at least to the point where he knew he didn't want to be part of it. He didn't realize, like, okay, there's a global agenda and there's people with big crooked noses doing really bad things. He didn't know all that, but he knew enough to knew that he had to be a millionaire by the age of 30. So I would say, obviously, I can only answer from my experience, so I'm going to say create a YouTube channel. But create something. Create something that is yours. Okay, Google owns this, but almost yours. Don't expect to ever be able to serve yourself by being part of the system. That's how to answer this. Get out of the system. If you want to live a life that isn't disempowered and repressed, you can't just work a job. You have to create something. And that takes great tenacity and great determination. So I could go into many examples with many of the businesses I've had, all the bricks and mortar businesses and all the work that went into that. So the one that I'll mention is my first bricks and mortar business. To get there, I walked dogs every day, Christmas Day, every day for 5 years. And I had dogs in my house. In the summer holidays, I would have 40 dogs in my house. These were the levels I was willing to go to escape the system. And then when it came to YouTube, I posted a video every single day when I only had 200 people watching for a year. So this is the sort of energy that is needed to escape the rat race, in my experience. Any advice for a psychotic chav? Great start. Oh, for psychotic chav neighbors with entity attachments that are demonic, dark entities. Nah, you're not. No, you can't change them. You just need to look at yourself and better yourself and ask yourself why you're living next to demonic chavs. Why are you letting that happen? What parts of you do you not love, and how much do you disrespect yourself to be allowing that situation to continue? What attachments do you have? So you might have attachments like a deposit. You might have a story of, I'll lose my deposit if I move away from these demonic chavs. That's a lack of self-love. And I only say this again because I've experienced it. If you watch English Refugee, you saw me experience this only 3 months ago, where I was living in a hellhole. I did this twice. Lived in a house that I hated, but it was super noisy next to a school. And then because I didn't want to lose my deposit, I stayed with that landlord and he put me in a hellhole of a flat, and I stayed there for 2 weeks before I snapped. And then I rented something more like this, but we had a construction site next to it, and the family that rented it were Vietnamese, so obviously they didn't understand things like closing their door or not shouting outside their guest room or not letting their kids scream in the reception. They just didn't have any concept of that whatsoever. So that was hell, and I stayed there for 6 weeks because I didn't want to lose my deposit. So, this is all disempowerment, lack of self-love, lack of self-worth, valuing £600 over yourself. So this is how you need to deal with it, looking at self. You can't control them. They're, they're possessed. But you can take control of the situation by removing yourself from it. How does that feel, Chris? Flat earthworms, I'm in love with Tom. Giggity, giggity, giggity. How can you ignore the cute cat? Because I'm live streaming, I'm working. Like, can you take your cat to work? So you're talking about this one? Or this one? Or this one? Which cute cat are you talking about? Sorry, guys. Sorry. Settle down. I know you're not props. So I'm not. I've got a pussy on my schlong. I've got another one here that is now getting stroked. And then that one doesn't want any attention. That one's a bitch. She's not a bitch. She's just a very independent cat that doesn't want anything from me other than chicken and fish. Do you believe in guardian angels that help people give us advice? No, I think it's bullshit. So on one level, yes, it's all about your perspective. Whatever you believe is true for you. So it's all oneness playing out. So everything you see is oneness. Everything you see is consciousness. Everything you see is God. Now, what it seems to have done to itself is split itself into many little things like these pussies, this person talking, that fan, everything. Sorry, I've just got put off by the fact that I can't say my THs. Let me try and get back on track. So in those layers of story that consciousness has created to forget what it is, it seems, and have this experience for whatever reason, presumably expansion, but, you know, maybe it's, you know, despair from being alone, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's expansion. Well, it creates many layers to get lost in. So God, Jesus, angels, guardian angels. So, you know, I watch a channeler who's all about guardian angels. I mean, Jerome's all about God. I mean, for me, it's just a story of disempowerment. It's just it's for people who need the story of I'm protected because they're in fear. So I'm not completely poo-hooing it. If you feel like you have guardian angels, then for you it's true. And for you right now, that's the only way you can understand what's happening and playing out. And that's fine. But just know there's more to come. There's more meeting of self to come. There's more moving out of separation and to oneness to come. And soon you won't need these silly stories. In my opinion, silly stories, from my perspective now. Yeah, I mean, it's just lack of self-awareness and lack of self-trust, lack of knowing that you are everything. It's separation. It's looking up. It's worshipping. So no, it's bullshit. It's spiritual story, but it's also true for the story holder. Nathan, did you get jabbed? He obviously got jabbed, because if he didn't, he'd be telling me. Have you realized that it was a massive mistake yet? If living with your parents makes financial sense and there's no... Oh, we're not taking advice from Shade, literally lives in fear. Cats will pee and poop in the house if you don't keep their litter clean. Yeah, they are really clean little beasts. Yeah, I know. So let me clarify. So I do that. Oh, and I do know that. But I also appreciate it and understand why you would assume I didn't know that based on what I just said. Something massive has just flown in. Whoa, that's huge. Oh my God. Whoa, CT7's activated. that really got you going, didn't it, CT7? Okay, it's left now, thank God. That was like huge. Did you see it? Oh my God, the size of that bug. I don't usually freak out over bugs, but that was fucking massive. That was definitely a stinging something. Like, it can't be that big and not have a big stinger. Okay, let me tell you why there's poo behind the sofa. It's because of this little kitten on my lap. So this little kitten on my lap for 48 hours now has been super confident and can take on those now. They don't like it. So this little, their brother and sister, I got them first. And then 4 days later, I found this little kitten in a bush. So they don't like this little kitten. So this little kitten spent the first 3 days behind the sofa and then on the sofa with me a little bit and then freaking out and going back behind the sofa. So it was too scared to leave that corner. So obviously it had to shit there. And then I just haven't cleaned it up. So but now it's you. I haven't seen it use a cat litter tray yet, you know? Right, so last night it was about to go in the cat litter tray and then CT7 came over and got dominant over the fucking shit. Can you imagine being dominant over shit? No, this is my shit. You can't shit here. This is my shit. Get a life, CT7. So I haven't actually seen it use the cat litter yet, but there's not any more shit around, so it must be doing. Now, also, it's going outside now, but there isn't really anywhere for it to shit when it goes outside because it's just going into the corridor and the balcony. It's not going onto grass. So there's an explanation for you, Riley. And then this is another thing. I think I agree with this. You might need 2 litter trays having 3 kittens. Yeah, I agree because I think... Right, Riley, maybe you can answer this question. Are they territorial over their shit? Because from what I saw yesterday, it seems that they are. And it seems that CT7 and Beans don't want Calipus to shit in the same place that they do. So I think Calypus might need its own shitting zone. But I'm really hoping that when I move into that apartment, I still don't know about this. I don't know whether to do it or not. Obviously, if I do it, I'll put bells on them so they can't kill any birds as well. Because I can't bear for them to be killing birds. Because the birds here are so beautiful. Oh, all birds are beautiful, but they're especially beautiful here. I just couldn't bear, like it upsets me when they kill a rat. Doesn't really upset me, but I can feel the emotional cords being tugged. But if it was a bird, I'd feel really irresponsible if my cats killed birds. So and people will be like, what are you talking about? It's natural. Yeah, I agree with that. But also, it's not natural to own cats. So if you're going to have 3 cats and keep cats alive and make it so there's more cats than there would be in the natural environment, then more birds are going to lose their lives, but wouldn't if humans didn't get involved. So I think if you're going to feed 3 cats and be the reason that there are these 3 cats in the world, then you should be responsible enough to put a bell around their neck. All right, yeah, so the point is, I'm considering when I go into my next apartment, building a walkway from the balcony to the tree. Obviously, I don't want them to die, so I'm a little bit apprehensive about it. But also, I want them to have a full life, and it would solve the shit problem. Yeah, Shade Julix. It's different now. Most 40-year-olds still live with their parents and are enjoying it. I don't think they're enjoying it. Wow, I'm really happy to hear you're enjoying it, and I love that, and so will you. But this is, Shade Julix lives in fear and is very disempowered. So do you want to be like Shade Julix and live with your parents when you're 40 and maybe enjoy it? So, maybe that's your path. Maybe that's, it could be that, I know this isn't true because of how she shows up and what she talks about. Intense fear and depression, and I don't say that with any judgment. It's very understandable. Oh my God, I got fearful yesterday. What was I looking at? And I could feel myself getting pulled in. It was X. It was something on X. Oh, it was fuck! It was the animals. I couldn't. Yeah, it really got me. Yeah, so I couldn't hold myself enough. People will hold an empath story around this and all that, but no, you can't hold yourself. So when I saw the animals running out of a forest in Europe, it really got me, and I could feel the anger, and I could feel the despair, and I could feel the upset. Yeah, I can feel it now, actually. Like, I know it's all very real. But to get, but to allow it to affect you and to not just create your own existence where none of it applies, is obviously what they want. And I've pretty much got to a point where it doesn't affect me. So Henry Nowak pulled me in for about 24 hours. The beheading pulled me in for about 12 hours. And these animals only pulled me in for about 2 hours. But yeah, seeing all the animals running out of the forest, it just made me so angry that they're getting affected by it. And I know that's ridiculous, because why am I not upset that humans are affected by it? I am, but I've just done a lot of self-work and I've learned to hold myself. But animals, man, it just drives me insane. It just drives me insane that these beautiful deers and stags and all of them are having their homes burned because of some fucking evil people in this world who want to control everything and have no heart whatsoever and aren't affected by destroying their hands. Oh my God, he's only 31. Destroying the homes of all these incredible animals that are so much better than humans, that deserve so much more respect than humans. Like, what are they doing? For Cambodians, not very good, I don't think. How he's been gay in Cambodia? Well, they're all vent boys. Every single one of them, except the one that I went on a date with last night, is a vent boy, in my experience. So, you'll be chatting to one online and you're like, oh, he's cute. Oh. And then you'll get into the love addiction story and maybe fantasize some sort of, just going on a date with somebody. And then they're like, you pay me? Every single one, apart from the one I went on a date with last night, it seems. So there's that from my perspective, but from their perspective, I don't think it's very good. It's certainly not illegal or anything like that, but it's a lot of families don't like it, put it that way. Cluso's only 31. Wow. So I think I've made, I think it's just your profile picture, which clearly isn't you, because that looks like a 50-year-old. I mean, I can barely see it, so I could be wrong. Maybe you've got blonde hair, but it looks like grey hair from here. Okay, so suddenly that, wow, you're only 31. That's not how I'd pictured you at all. But that fits way more now in terms of your dependence on the state, in terms of where you are with psychedelics and how hard you're going. Wow, that's even more impressive. And yeah, you're already having a very powerful journey, but you're going to be, I imagine you already are a way shower for some people, but you're going to be a real way shower, Cluso. 31, wow. So I think you'll be where I'm at, and I don't think I'm, I think we're already pretty close to each other on the path, but I think you'll be at my point in the path by the age of 33. So I'm 41, and I'm at this point of the path. So I think you'll do it by 33. So think where you'll be when you're 41, and think where you'll be when you're 50. And think, more importantly than that, because that's all ego, think what you'll be offering to others when you're 33, when you're 40, when you're 50, and the impact you'll be having on this world. Caluso is a special one. Cheers, Justin. Nice one. Right, we've only got a fiver, so I think I'm going to end the chat in 4 minutes' time. If someone chucks in another tenner, we'll go on for another half hour. So we've got 4 minutes, people. 3.5 minutes if you want to keep the chat going. Justin, do you recommend quitting a 9 to... Oh, yeah, cool. I mean, I just can't imagine ever having one. I never had one. I worked jobs from the age of 15 to 18 instead of going to school. It seemed more worthwhile than school to me, so I worked instead. I suppose no, by 18 I was making 100 grand a year selling green herbs. So there was no need for a job. Then a load of people came through my windows with knives, a load of jealous bioweapons. That was at 21. So I thought, oh, maybe this green herb thing isn't the answer. So I got a job briefly. I got sacked after 2 months. I'm unemployable. I just can't toe the party line. I can't say yes, sir, no, sir. I'm just fuck off, sir. Fuck off, cunt. So funnily enough, I don't do very well in employment. So it's really hard for me to answer, Justin, because I'm not a pleb. But yeah, of course. but you've got to have something to transition to, haven't you? You've got to, so I would be working a pleb job, and well, I mean, I'd be selling things. But I'm trying to come from your perspective, right? I would be working a pleb job, and then at night I'd be working on my own project, and that project would be online because I'd be wanting to get out of the UK. All right, it looks like we're ending. We've got another minute left. No one's put any more money in. Let's just see if there's any interesting chats. Let's see if Nathan has told us about his strong. Sarah is a Scorpio and Sarah isn't jabbed. Well done. Yeah, I think I would have gone with 61 over 31 for sure, which is an honouring. It shows how wise he is. But we all thought he was older. Any chance you could start doing measurements using the metric system? No. Please don't be a Virgo. What are your projections onto Virgos? Yeah, the only Virgos I've ever met are pretty shit, to be fair. Well, I don't know about, because I don't know everyone's star sign that I've met, but the ones that I've been aware of. No, I've put loads of weight on. You look like you've lost loads of weight, Bro. I'm fat as fuck, mate. I've got tits again. I can't stop eating chips. Oh, Caluso, right. Caluso's just got us another 15 minutes. Nice one, Caluso. I'm quite enjoying it. Caluso, my profile picture is Donald Trump's head on Rocky Balboa. Caluso, I love you, mate. I love you even more now I know that you're younger than me. Wow. And I don't mean sexually. I mean, like, wow. Like, I just that. Do I need to say any more? And it also makes me, oh yeah, I can see it's Donald Trump now. It's bigger now that you've put money in. Oh wow, Justin's in. Cool. Maybe we're even going to get to 2 hours. Yeah, I think there's more automatic desire to do this when someone's younger than me, as in put out the hand for them to grab onto and walk the path with me. But it's probably a lack of self-worth thing where, or maybe it's an experience thing. So I have had clients, people who walk with me who are older than me. But it's always a bit harder for them, I think. And of course, they've just had more years of repression. Yeah, I mean, I put my hand out for anyone, but there's definitely, it's just straight out for someone that's younger than me. Whereas someone that's older than me, it's a little bit more like, I used to be in a MAGA cult, yeah, weren't we all? Can't be asked to change my profile picture every minute. Fair enough, mate. It's a good profile picture, it's funny. But yeah, I wouldn't want Trump, I wouldn't want to be associated with Trump. But I know, I know you're, energetically, I do think it means something, but also it means nothing and just whatever. As long as you know that he's part of the club, it doesn't really matter. Is living in remote areas to avoid plebs smart? I mean, I would say so. That's what I do. So I always live 5 kilometers out of the city, at least. I'm up for living a half an hour drive from any city. I don't want to be completely in the sticks yet. I still like gyms and things like that and saunas. So for me, I want to be a half an hour drive from the city. Oh, maybe I could join a gym today because my foot's better. Oh my God, that's exciting. Yeah, I'm going to join a gym today. Oh my God, saunas. Oh my God, it's got a steam room. Oh my God, and it doesn't smell of damp. Oh my God, people don't smoke in there. Oh my God, people won't be playing shorts out of their phone in there. Oh God, the things I went through in Vietnam, saunaing while people are playing shorts and smoking cigarettes in the changing room. Oh my God. Oh my God, the things I had to put up with. Oh, I'm so glad I'm in Siem Reap. I'm so glad I'm not in Vietnam anymore. Oh my God, it was so bad. Oh, it was so bad. I'm only just now realizing how bad it was and everything that I put myself through living in that country. It was also amazing. I also have a lot of love for Vietnam and a lot of appreciation, but my God, I'm never ever living there again. Fuck me, man. People smoke in the changing rooms. Oh my God, Vietnam, sort yourself out. But also you're amazing. Don't sort yourself out. Just keep being Vietnam because it is amazing. It's amazing for 2 weeks, but not 6 months. Yeah, I absolutely think so, mate. I think as you awaken, this is just a natural part of softening and deepening. The city is very brutal. The city is very repressed. The city is very conditioned. The city is all about the external, the flashing lights, the noise, the friction on the penis. It's all about the external, man. And as you come inside and slow down and soften and start to appreciate stillness and silence more, and love self more, and not need to escape self so much, then why would you need the flashing lights and the noise? Because it's disgusting. So naturally, this will just happen as you go on your journey. But it sounds to me like you're still very external, Justin, and therefore, so what I'm speaking of there is more of a surrendering and just a knowing that it will happen. I'm not sure why I'm stroking my nipple, but it's just happening. Get septic. So for you, I think it's more about making it happen practically rather than like, oh, spirituality. So for you, I think you need to make some physical changes. And like, if you're asking the question, you know the answer and you know what you want. You know you don't want to be living around plebs. So why would you still be doing that? Why would you not be, and then also attached to this is going to be your materialism addiction, which obviously we all have when we're depressed. So, right now in the city, you might have quite a big, nice house. And to get out of the city, you might have to move into a van. I mean, that's obviously the extremes. Or, you might have to go from a 4-bed detached house to a terraced house. Do it. Get over yourself. Get over your status-driven nature. And this isn't at you, Justin. This is just speaking into how the collective operates when they're repressed. You know, it doesn't matter what Mrs. Jones next door thinks. It doesn't matter what your best mate thinks, who's not really your friend. If you ever took away the hobby that you have together, which is probably drinking alcohol and watching football or something like that, you would realize that you're not friends. You just have this thing that you do together. So who cares what he thinks? Who cares what your mum thinks? You know, honor yourself. Get the right environment for yourself. All right, sweet. So we only need another £3 to get to an hour and a half, people. So if somebody chuck in £3 and we can all have 25 more minutes fun. Wow, nobody guessed. Wow, like they're literally guessing every single one. You're not Pisces, are you? No, well, I've already told you. They literally guessed every single one except the one I am. That's interesting. Oh, we've got a member in the house. Let's honor the member. I'm not sure what the member's trying to say. It looks like they tried to put a load of emojis in, which turned up as black blobs. But Daniel, welcome to the chat, my man. Thank you for your membership. Anu, yeah, it's a great name, isn't it? Anu is a powerful name, ancient sky god. Well, it shows in how this person shows up. They're beautiful. Very deep, very wise. What do you think about Thai ladyboys? I like how blunt and honest they are. They don't claim to be women. They just say it how it is. Yeah, I have no experience with Thai ladyboys. I don't know. But I can speak about Southeast Asian people. It's interesting, man, because right, so I was going to say that I really appreciate how blunt and honest they are. But in other ways, they're really not. Right, so Vietnamese people, very blunt and honest. I think Thai ladyboys, so what you're experiencing there is like the rougher side of society, the more real side of society, which is ironic because of what they've done to themselves, which obviously isn't real. However, it's different out there. It's not like the tranny world in the West. I don't quite know. I haven't worked it out, like why it's such a thing. I don't know if it's about making money. Presumably it's mainly about making money. I imagine. Right, so these are all assumptions. I could be wrong about everything I'm about to say. I imagine most ladyboys come from poor families and they don't see another way of making money. I imagine. I think, right, so I don't know about this. So my mate who's lived in Thailand for 12 years now, it will be, told me about a 3-year-old boy that was put on a table. So he's in a restaurant, and the family pick up the 3-year-old boy, put him on a table, and all start going, lady boy, lady boy, lady boy. So they wanted him to be a lady boy. So that suggests that there's no shame around it. But I'm pretty sure like a well-to-do middle-class family in Thailand would have shame if their son was a, is it sons? Yeah, son was a lady boy. But these are all assumptions, and they're based on my Western conditioning, so I know nothing. But it's definitely not. Yeah, so I think what you're referring to is the difference between our trannies and their trannies. Their trannies aren't pretending to be anything, and they're not asking for rights, and they're not trying to make themselves victims and important through their victimhood. They're not really repressed and full of self-hate. You know, they are what they are, and they own what they are, and they're really honest about it. So it's very different, very different. So, for example, when my body worker wanted me to put my head on a pillow, rather than like we would in England going, excuse me, can you lift your head up, sir, while I put this pillow under your neck? She would go, head up. So, you know, very blunt and brutal, and I love that because there's no waffle, there's no noise, there's no nonsense. But then what's also true out here is they won't be honest out of fear of upsetting or offending you. And that's also very true in the West. You know, very few people are honest, and everyone's a people pleaser. But it's more. I think it's more predominant here. On the other side of the spectrum, to the type of people that are ladyboys, and my body worker who's just like, this is what I want. This is how I'm going to say it to make it happen fast and efficiently. So there is that side. But the other side of the spectrum is strong people pleasing out here, like conformity and submission like you've never known, because it's not normal to stick your head, and obviously this is also the case in the West, but it's stronger out here. It's not normal to stick your head above the parapet. You know, again, I'm speaking about things I don't really know about, but I'm doing my best. So it's more shocking out here to do something that is not of the norm, that's not conformist. Whereas in England, even the really repressed ones are doing non-conformist stuff like blue hair and piercings, but actually that's now become conformity. That's actually conformity now. Did that answer your question? Hello, Lozzie Lozzer. Thank you for your love. Ah, Fan On It got it. Fan On It was the one that got it. So Fan On It, what made you think I was Libra? Because you are correct. This one is a mess. Sorry, Sarah, but you're a real mess. Like you're spamming the chat with like real like we can use the Sophie one. So this is the energy you're showing up in, Sarah, and I'm not trying to upset you. And I know this will upset you because I can tell you're very defensive and very of the ego. But your judgments, obviously, I brought up this one, but I'm not doing it because it's Libra and it's me. Obviously, you've not upset me. But like you're so like there were so many like please don't be Aries, please don't be this. Where are they now? Yeah, like this. Please don't be a Virgo. Oh, it's your first time here as well. You're going to get upset and not come back, which isn't my intention, because I want to help you. But this is helping you. It's reflecting to you how you show up. So you do have this energy. Very, very sort of entitled and thinking your opinion really matters. Whereas to me, it's very clear that you're all over the place and don't know who you are. And which is very welcome. That's how I was. That's how we all start. And you're very, very welcome in this chat. But try to hold lightly the possibility that your opinion doesn't matter to other people. And shouldn't really matter to you once you really do the work. But right now, I know that's not possible. But actually, like, we don't care what you think. You're more than, you know, we care what you think if you meet yourself and become wise and have something to offer. But when it's all just noise, projection, and drama, we don't care. We see you. We love you. And we're here for you. But just know that, you know, showing up like that is this. Lots of love, Sarah. I hope you can take the reflection and deepen and learn and meet yourself through it. And I hope to see you again. I imagine we won't, because I can tell where you're at and you get offended very easily. Nathan, in fairness, you did work your bollocks off with those dogs. Oh, yeah, so Nathan knows, man. Nathan was around when I was doing the dog thing. So Nathan was around before I got the dog center, and I was doing it all from home. So he saw like how manically tenacious and determined I was to not be part of the system. He must have thought it was mental because he's just a job pleb. Right, let's go back up the chat a bit. So we've got 18 minutes. Oh no, we haven't got 18 minutes left. We need more money for 18 minutes. Oh no, I think it happened. Did it happen? We got Fan, we got Justin, we got 10. Okay, we're doing an hour now. Is living in remote areas. Do you advocate digital detoxes? Yeah, of course. I don't do them. I'm far too addicted. But yeah, if you can spend even an evening without any technology, then you're hugely more advanced than most people. I can't do it. Right, the other night we had a power cut. Not a power cut, we had an internet cut. And my God, like a year ago or probably 6 months ago, that would have been like, I'd have been like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? But I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Sweet. And for about half an hour, I was totally fine with it. And I was telling myself a story that like, this is gonna be fine for a whole evening. Like, I've got this. I don't need any distraction. I love myself. I can be with myself. And for about half an hour, that was true. And then it wasn't. Why are you biting me? And then, so then I thought, well, you know what? I don't need the internet to edit videos. So I edited 3 videos. But it was very clear to me, and so I was feeling really good about that. I was really relieved to get these videos edited because I'd managed to get a bit behind on it again. And now I'm back to just 2 days. I just need to edit the last 2 days, so that's fine. Really, I want to be editing yesterday's video. I want to be editing one video a day, and I want it to be yesterday's, but sometimes I won't edit for 3 days, and then suddenly I've got to do 5. And then obviously it becomes harder because I can't quite remember which are the good bits that I want to bring to the coming up section. So I was aware when I was editing my 3rd video that like, oh my God, like it's only 8 PM. I've got to fill another hour in. I'm going to have to edit a 4th video. So I was really obviously observing myself and noticing how much I was struggling with the lack of internet, and therefore was going into this obsessive editing energy to avoid myself. So I was very aware of what I was doing, but I was also not shaming it and was just okay with it. And then hippie landlord knocks on the door and tells me the internet's back on. So basically, I think what I'm trying to say there is I can do half an hour. And then I can't be with myself anymore, and it comes up as a story of boredom, but really it's anxiety from the stomach. It's like the emotions get too strong. Emotions that I've never felt before get too prevalent without the distraction. I love you very much, but you're incredibly demanding and a little bit annoying at times. Oh my God, Calico is so playful. So last night I slept with his door open for the first time because it was remarkably cool, as in temperature-wise. And anyway, that's not relevant. I don't know why I told you that, because she's slept on my bed every night. And when she gets on my bed, she gets super playful and she starts jumping about and then jumping onto my legs. And so obviously it's incredibly annoying. I'm trying to fall asleep. She's jumping on my face, but it's also incredibly cute. And like, she's literally like springing up and like so playful. Like, she's unbelievable. She's fantastic, but she's non-stop and she's constant. Like, she's constantly biting my hands. She's constantly wanting strokes. She's constantly wanting to play fight. Which is great, and she's my favorite cat, and it's what I want from my cats, you know, interaction more than like Beans, who just like isn't interested unless I'm giving it chicken or fish. But sometimes I wish she'd be a bit more Beans, but she's squawking in my face like that when I've literally just stroked and fed her, and then when I stroke her, she starts biting me. And she's still, I'm stroking you right now and you're still squawking. And now you're biting me. You make no sense. You make as much sense as Sophie. Fuck me, it's like having a Sophie in my life. So are we going to see Sarah again? Did Sarah get triggered? I would imagine so. Oh, it's the first time as well, bless her. Oh dear. Why can't I just be nice? Because nice get you nothing. Because nice keep you repressed. We're not here to be repressed people. Why do you think that the powers that shouldn't be in the UK are helping the natives in Britain live as long as possible? How does this benefit them in your opinion? Well, why have you made up a silly story that they're helping the natives in Britain live as long as possible? They just, like what happened in 2020, and you think they're trying to make them live as long as possible? No. You're deluded, mate. What a stupid question. The complete opposite of what's happening. They've literally just brought in euthanasia, which is offing of the old, and soon will be used on, like it is in Canada, will be like, oh, you're depressed, we can off you. Oh, you're depressed, we should off you. You're 18 and depressed, it's too late for you, it's over. Off. You stupid man, Darren, what's wrong with you? You probably still believe in politics? Oh my goodness. Darren is a stupid one. Okay, what advice would you give? Would you give someone who lives with a... What the fuck? What's happened to the chat? Because I'm definitely... This happened the other day. Daniel, please don't be discouraged. You will make a lot of money. Just be patient. Your channels will take a while, maybe a few years, but once you're in the swing of things, hopefully it will work out. Yeah, I know this, Daniel. I absolutely know this. Yeah, big things are going to happen for me. Big things are already happening for me. I am serving deeply, and therefore I will be served. I agree. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for the support. Chris, I don't work. I get universal credit and PIP every month for health reasons. Okay, I'm not sure what that was related to. I know I've had your comments up before, but I can't remember what we were speaking about. So you really need to give me a lot of context, guys. Don't assume that I can remember the chat that we had half an hour ago, because, you know, there's a lot here for me to take in. And I don't hold on to things, you know, things just flow through me and I let go off very fast. So, you know, if you're going to write something like that as a sort of response / add-on to what we were speaking about, try and mention what we were speaking about at the start. That really helps. But I you know, I appreciate that's partly me being not great. The last time I saw your content, you were running from Antifa. Have you seen the last of them? So it wasn't true, mate. It was a psyop. I was tricked by a demon. Antifa were never after me. It was a big psyop that I fell for, and it took me about 3 months to work out what the truth was. So Antifa were never after me, but I thought they were. That was all true. The need to leave your parents is social conditioning. This is interesting. Grinding away from your psyche midnight. I ignore it and refuse to leave. Yeah. So I think, we know Shay Jalix lives in a lot of fear and disempowerment. So I think this is Shay Jalix's way of making her disempowerment and fear feel empowering. So her ego tricking her. But there's also some truth in it. Like, there is definitely truth in the conditioning to all live separate. For you know, if you look at human history for thousands of years, we've all lived together. If you look at the monkeys, they all live together, and you know it does work in terms of, you know, they keep their culture, they keep their self-respect, they are all homogenous and have the same goals, and therefore they proliferate. So it is true the white man has been conditioned to live in separation, and therefore, you know, spread like many rents. So obviously, you know, you can't breathe like rabbits like the others do. So there is some truth in this, but then there is also just the fact that living with your parents is fucking awful. Now, Shay Jalix, if you're genuinely enjoying living with your parents, I absolutely honor you and respect you for that. That is a real achievement, and that has taken a lot of self-work. Well done. But is it true? And this is for you to ask yourself. You don't need to prove anything to me over chat. You know, is it true? Or is it, you know, because you don't have any other option? Because I would fucking hate it. Whilst I agree with what you're saying in terms of conditioning, but also my parents are amazing. As NPCs, they're absolutely amazing, but they're complete NPCs. Like, of course, I don't want to live around their retarded energy. I don't want to live around the microwave being used all the time. I don't want to live around the BBC News playing out of the TV. I don't want to live around Sky Sports News being on 24 hours a day. I don't want to live around their retarded conversations. I don't want to live around treading on eggshells because of their NPC-ness. You know, for me, it's very disempowering, and there's no way I could be doing this and living this beautiful life if I was. There's just no way. Like, there's no way I could have had the journey that I've just had, and all the knowledge and wisdom that's been gained and deepening that's been experienced. If I was still living with my parents, man, I'd be showing up like you are in deep fear and deep anger. However, I really like what you just said about your parents. That was really wise. You are over 30 though and not yet a millionaire. But yeah, oh yeah, this is Darren. He's already proved that I can't quite remember what it was, but yeah, this guy's really lost. But yeah, your tenacity and your motivation is what has given you your independence. Thank you for telling me, Darren. You know, so this is what these people do. These people that are so lost, they want to tell you, so they think that they know something. Darren knows nothing. I was a millionaire at the age of 30 on paper. And then I, from your perspective, effed it up. But from my perspective, called in the lessons that allowed me to be a deep, wise guru. Right, and this person agrees that I'm a deep, wise guru and is just throwing in £5. Anu, the amazing Anu. We love Anu. Oh my God, Anu is so amazing. And they put in money, so even more amazing. Tom, are you planning on going to Laos after Cambodia or while you are there? The standard Laos visa is only 1 month. It's a stunning country. So when I booked my ticket to Siem Reap, I did not know that Lee lived here. So I was going to go to Laos. I wanted to go to Laos. I believe before I found Siem Reap, my belief was that Laos would be the best place in Southeast Asia for me. And after 6 months of Vietnam, I had basically given up on Southeast Asia, and I was going to go back to Europe. Obviously not the fucking parts that are burning and have bioweapons running around everywhere. I was actually going to go to a former Soviet Union country, probably Georgia. And but I thought, you know what, it's a long flight, and once you make that flight, you're not coming back to Southeast Asia. Like maybe one day, but you know, I'm not doing this whole 12-hour flight, £1,000 thing, to then do it again in 6 months' time. Like, you need to be sure about this. So you need to go and experience Laos, because you know Laos could work, and really you should experience Japan as well. But I know that I don't want to live in Japan, and but I do want to experience it. So that was what I was doing. So I started looking at flights to Laos. And then started thinking about the geography, and I was like, well, you haven't seen Siem Reap yet, so you might as well go to Siem Reap for a month, and then so basically I was using Siem Reap as a little stopgap before I got to Laos. So I booked a one-way ticket to Siem Reap with the intention of doing a month, 3 months maybe, and then moving on to Laos. And then that afternoon I texted Lee saying, oh, I'm moving to Siem Reap, and he was like, oh, cool, I live in Siem Reap. So that's when I started opening up to the possibility of Siem Reap being a longer term thing. And then I got here and I was like, well, obviously I'm never leaving here. This is amazing. And then there's Lee and Michael and a whole community beyond them. So the answer now is I'm staying in Siem Reap for the long term. Now, when I went to get my visa the other day, and she explains to me how that all works. Basically, the way I've chosen to do it, so there is a way you can do it where you never have to leave Cambodia again. The way I've chosen to do it, I am going to have to leave Cambodia in 6 months. And then I'm going to come back and never have to leave again. So I said to her, well, I'll choose this easier, cheaper option for now, where I have to leave in 6 months, because I want to see Laos. So I said to her, in 6 months, I'll fly to Laos, and I'll spend 2 weeks there, a month there, whatever. And then I'll come. Now, obviously, now I've got the cats, it's definitely not going to be more than a month. It was probably going to be more like 2 weeks. And then I'll come back and I'll get the e-visa, it's called, where I can stay long term. And she went, that's not going to work. And I went, why is that? And she goes, you won't be able to get the e-visa if you fly in from Laos. I was like, why? She couldn't tell me why, but that's just the way it is. So if you fly in from anywhere in the world, apparently, according to this woman, obviously she might be incorrect, but this is her job, and so I believe she knows. If you fly in from Vietnam, Thailand, Europe, anywhere in the world, you can get a 6-month e-visa, which can be extended to a lifetime, or can be extended for another 6 months and another 6 months and another 6 months, but effectively can be a lifetime. In fact, I think it's a year. I don't think it's 6 months. I think you can extend it for a year and a year and a year without ever leaving the country again, which is amazing for people who aren't aware about visas in Southeast Asia. That's the best in Southeast Asia by a mile. You know, all the others make you leave every few months. Oh my God, Nathan's even chucking in the jewels. Fuck me. Sorry, I'm thinking about Nathan's cock again. Try not to think about Nathan's cock. It was massive. It was one of the biggest I've ever seen. It was outrageous. I didn't know what to do with it other than stick it in my ass, obviously. Lao. Yeah, so she kind of kiboshed my plan, and I'm still like, is she right? Like, because I really want to go to Laos. Like, I really want to see Laos. I really want to see Laos. I really want to see Luang Prabang. But according to her, if at the end of my 6 months, I've just got a new 6-month visa. If at the end of my 6 months, I go to Laos, then I'm going to have to come back in on a 1-month visa that can only be extended for a month and then fly out again. I really want to see Lau. So I think I might just chance it and do it and just trust that I'm going to get a good migration officer who can feel my energy and wants to support me and will give me the longest stamp. Because I don't want to go back to Vietnam. So what are my options? I'm banned from Thailand. I have no interest in Singapore. I don't think you can go to Burma. Philippines is disgusting. I've done Vietnam. I don't want to go to Vietnam. I mean, I could go back to Dalat and work with a bodyworker. That would be a good option. I could go back to Dalat for 2 weeks and get 14 bodywork sessions. Maybe that's a good idea, actually. I could go to Bali, but it's quite a long flight. It's like a 4-hour flight, I think, maybe more. It's Muslim. Well, Bali's not Muslim, but, you know, be overriding authority there is Muslim. Which scares me a little bit because officially, what I've said on the internet, they could put me in jail for. Now, I don't think they would, but officially, you know, if you ask AI and then tell AI what you've said, they're like, yeah, you don't go to a Muslim country. And of course, there's loads of demons on here that want to see that happen, so they would contact the Indonesian authorities and send them clips, and you know, it could just be messy. So I think Dalat is the option, or do I just go to Laos and think, fuck it, I'm an empowered being that can make, you know, that will be reflected in reality, and reality is going to serve me and give me, you know, what I need. Wow, Nathan's getting very generous with the jewels. So he chucked in 10 with a W. Is he trying to say I'm an anchor? And then he chucked in 250, so that's going to be worth at least 20 pence. So thank you, Nathan. I really appreciate that. Nathaniel, he's good looking, isn't he, Nathan? He's still good looking, so he must be almost 40 now. He was definitely like seen as. Yeah, it's a funny one because so on the gay scene, you've got like the pinnacles that everyone is after. So do you remember Ben Tomlinson, Nathan? Oh my God, it still kills me. I got a chance to get with him and I fucked it up, man. He was the best. So there were like 5 that everyone wanted. There was Dominic. Do you remember Dominic, Nathan? Fuck me. I managed to have Dominic. I did have Dominic. He was beautiful. And Nathan was just sort of in the band underneath that. Like he wasn't really a prized asset, but he almost was. I think it was his voice. He sounded like Deirdre Barlow on Coronation Street. Didn't have a very sexy voice. A camp version of Deirdre Barlow. But very good looking and had a massive schlong. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you for the jewels and thank you for your massive schlong in my bum bum. Yes, we all want to know if you got jabbed, Nathan. I mean, we know from his lack of response that he did. So let's move on to, have you accepted it was a terrible decision and are you detoxing? Because we care about you, Nathan, and we don't want the 11 inches to not be part of this earth. How do you suggest dealing with ego problems and addiction to instant gratification? Well, don't shame it, first of all. Observe it. Just start observing it. So you need to start observing why you're doing it. So the reason you're doing it is you're avoiding emotion. So you need to start feeling that emotion. So right now, there's probably, like, the facts that you're asking this question and aware that addiction to instant gratification is of the ego shows that you are self-observing. But in general, so I don't know quite where you're at, so I'll speak from, I think, probably a level of awareness less than what you hold. In general, emotion happens and reaction happens all as one. So anxiety, smoke. Anxiety, tug. Anger, shout. All one action, no space. But really, those are 2 separate things. Emotion and reaction are 2, or they should be 2 separate things. Because one should be conscious enough and have experienced self enough, be embodied enough to know the difference between the 2 things. And there should be some space between those 2 things where one has time to make a choice. Emotion How do I want to react? Do I want to feel it and surrender, or do I want to react from the emotion with anger or addiction? So you need to start, when you go for whatever your addiction is, when you go for, let's just say, the smoke or the dick, your own, I imagine, you need to start asking this question: what am I avoiding in this now moment? And you'll find that it's an emotion. And you'll feel that emotion, and you'll go, oh yeah, shit, I can understand why I'm avoiding that, smoke, 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 and that's fine. But at least you're starting to bring awareness to it. At least you're starting to ask yourself a question and give yourself a possibility of choice. At the moment, I imagine there's no choice for you. There's enough awareness to see what it is. I mean, again, it's not addiction, it's coping. So you're coping because the emotions are too much for you. So you cope with addiction. You numb and suppress the emotions with addiction. So there's the start of the understanding here. But that question will really help you. What am I trying to avoid in this moment? What feeling do I not want to feel in this moment? And then the next offering to yourself would be, as in you are offering this to yourself, can I feel this emotion for 10 seconds? Breathing into the stomach, feeling, being, doing it as long as you can, and then being like, whoa, that was too much, smoke, 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 and not shaming the smoke, 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 not shaming the coping, understanding why you have to do it, because you're not ready to feel that emotion. But if you start bringing that question in, and that offering to yourself in, then that 10 seconds becomes 30 seconds, becomes a minute, becomes an evening, becomes you no longer need the coping, the addiction. Says the complete hopeless addict. What did you make of that, Duke? Did it help? So Sophie disappeared. Darren's still hanging around though, which I really respect. Let's do this first. It's time. Oh, what's it time for? Ooh, sucky, sucky, love you long time. Or is it time? Call me a nut job, but I've seen an angel from a small, low cloud. It was like CGI. I didn't believe in angels until that point, and I don't blame anyone for not believing it now. Great, lovely experience. So for me, so I totally believe you saw that. I have no issue with that at all. That's very easy for me. But for me, what's happening there is you are speaking to yourself in the only way you'll understand it. So let me change that sentence, but this is a dumbed down version of that sentence. What I just said is the most truthful and accurate portrayal of what's happening that I have experienced so far, because it acknowledges that it's all one. But let me go down a level. Down is the wrong word. Let me just make it more accessible. So consciousness, and now I'm speaking about consciousness as if you're not part of it, but that's not really true. Consciousness is speaking to you in the only way that it can get through to you right now. So it's using angels and it's showing you angels. But that doesn't mean that, so yes, they exist, but also there is another perspective where it's all one and it's not separate, and really angels don't exist. So what I mean by that, and the reason that's important, is because it helps stop people getting lost in these silly stories of guardian angels, of galactic, what do they call it? The galactic group that people think they channel. My guides, my guardians, I called on my angels. Like, it's all ego. It's all fucking ego. But that doesn't mean your experience wasn't true. And it doesn't mean that ego story can't help you as you learn to surrender and let go of all the silly ego stories. I mean, Jeroen is the best example of this. Like, he's all about, I called him my guardians and all this. I'm protect, like, you know, just complete fear. Like, he feels he needs this story that he's protected by these angels. But really, he's all of it, you know? Did that help? Did that make any sense? Do you know that I'm not attacking you and I'm not disputing your story, your experience? I'm just trying to offer you more. Darren, Darren never got the jab and tried to discourage as many people as possible to take it. Nice one, Darren. You're a proper man. You're a proper man. But I have an aunt who have good jobs at the NHS. Good? Are you sure about that? You mean jobs that offer a lot of status in a demonic society, but they're not good. And she was diagnosed, and she was disgusted that I hadn't taken the jab. Of course she was, because she was a virtue signaling, NHS loving pleb that only knows how to live in the minds of others and is completely status driven and will toe the party line, will say whatever they think is popular and right because they've been told it's right, because they've never taken a conscious breath and thought for themselves. Wow, Justin's loving life. Sorry, Nathan. Well, Justin too. Justin was first. Let's go for Justin. Okay, we'll move into that in a minute. Nathan is fucking loving the schlong talk. So Nathan has thrown in 500 joules. So that is going to be 250 cents. So that's going to be 200 pence. So that's £2. So that's actually worthwhile. Thank you, Nathan. I'm so glad you're on the chats, Nathan. I wish you were a bit more open and honest and vulnerable. But I can see you're still very repressed and ego-driven. Which isn't surprising for a good-looking gay man. Like, fuck me. Very hard for a good-looking gay man to wake up. Also, you've taken a jib jab and you don't want to acknowledge what that has done. But let's not focus on that. Let's focus on your beauty and your giving and your literal beauty and your 11 inches. And just how awesome it is to have someone from my past in the chat. That's really cool. I'm really glad you're here, Nathan. Thanks for your support. Justin, do you own any stocks? No, I don't understand stocks. So for me, any spare money would, hypothetically, if I had some, well, actually, it would all get saved for a Tesla machine now. I want a Tesla machine, and I'm going to get one in the next 6 months for sure. Yeah, so I would buy a material item, and it's the only material item that I want other than a sauna, my own sauna, is a Tesla machine, and they cost $11,000. So that's where all my money's going. But in terms of your question, stocks, no, because that's part of the demonic system. I mean, it's all part of the demonic system. Everything I'm about to mention is, but stocks is such a con. And I mean, it's not because of the forever money printing and the forever inflation, it is inevitable that stocks will go up. So it's not really a con. But it's also a con because they're just using it, you know, they just manipulate it and crash it and bring it up to suit them. And it's just a bit too odd for system for me. Like, I don't want to be investing in these satanic companies. So for me, any spare money I had once I bought my Tesla machine would go into Bitcoin and gold. They'd be the only two things I would invest in. And that's come from, I once had 12 Bitcoin, so I know what I'm talking about. And that's come through investing a lot of money into other things and it not working. Like shit coins, for example. I will never buy an altcoin again. So yeah, for me, and this is basically because I'm stupid. You know, I'm not clever enough to trade. I'm not clever enough to, I'm also not obviously externally enough. Like, I don't want to be staring at graphs and computer screens. So if you want to invest in stocks, you need to, you know, watch the stock market. I don't want to watch the stock market. So I'm a holder. I'm not a trader. I'm not a gambler. I'm a holder. The only vice I've never had in the surface level world is gambling. Now you could say I've had it big time because I've invested hundreds of thousands of pounds into cryptocurrency over my time. So that is gambling in many ways, but I don't see it as gambling. I see it as trying to find the best place to hold your wealth. Now there have been times where I've gambled with shitcoins and lost. So I am now very much a holder. Not that I have any, but you know, this is now my mentality. I would just buy and hold Bitcoin and gold. But it's all a bit irrelevant because I only make enough. I earned £2,000 last month. And I want a Tesla machine more than I want to be wealthy. Because a Tesla machine will serve me in this now moment. And I no longer live in fear. I don't need to accrue wealth. Like I know that I will serve myself as much as I need to. You could say consciousness, you could say God will serve me as much as I need to. As much as I need to be served. No is the answer. So I think that was all of those. Thanks, guys. That's amazing. Oh, right. So we've gone past what I said I would do. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to stop at 2 hours unless someone puts in a nice £10. Hampton Paul, big supporter. So, of course, his comments will get brought up. Tom, I watched your 40th birthday video on English refugee, so I am saying you are Libra. Am I that far behind in the chat? 6:25. Oh, my God, I'm an hour behind. In an hour and 45-minute live stream. That's so bad. I'd love to know more about your perspective on Satan and the demons. I've watched a fair few of your videos, but you also don't seem to like religion very much. So when I named, so he's referring to my biggest channel, Not Today Satan. When I named that, I was Christian. So I think that answers your question. My perspective on it now is none of it exists, and it's all beautiful. It's all one. So if it is a devil, which it isn't, but if it is a devil, then it's part of oneness, and it's only serving the light anyway. And then, you know, the whole, obviously, hell, heaven, devil, Jesus, that's all just made up to control you through shame. You're a sinner. You can be whatever, you know, you can be a horrendous person. You can grape, you can off people, you can, you know, do no spiritual work, do nothing good in your life. But as long as you dedicate yourself to this other demon, then everything's fine. Because if you dedicate yourself to that demon, then we can control you. Shame, 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 fear, fear, fear. You're a sinner. You're an awful person. Like, I mean, it's just fucking horrendous. So no, I think religion is disgusting. And for plebs who are so scared of taking responsibility, who are so scared of coming in here that they need external worship. And then this also plays out in the extreme plebs who have replaced that with politicians and celebrities. What is it in the Bible? Don't worship false idols. And that includes the ones in the Bible. If you get collars with bells, make sure it's a quick release collar. I know of cats getting collars caught on trees and hanging themselves due to not having quick release. Yeah, thank you, Riley. I was aware of that, but I probably wouldn't have done it. So thank you. I will definitely do that. I love my mum and we were very close, but I wouldn't want to live with her at this age. I love my own space too much. Yeah, I just love my own space. Like, it means so much to me. It means so much to me, man. Nathan, why did you take down the live stream labels after me, by the way? I was looking forward to watching it. Why did you take down the live stream labels? About me, I think he's saying. Because you didn't come onto the stream. So I wrote the title, When Your Ex Comes on Your Live Stream, in the hope that that would inspire you to come back. But you didn't come back onto that live stream, so it didn't fit as a title. So after the live stream, I renamed it as to whatever the live stream was about. Is that what you're asking, Nathan? I think that's what you're asking. But this one can be called, right, what should we call this live stream, guys? I think it should be about Nathan's cock. So can we get suggestions for names of a live stream? It doesn't have to be. If you think there's a better one than something that involves Nathan's cock, then great, suggest that. But I think it should be about Nathan's cock, which obviously will lose me quite a few Not Today Satan subscribers, but that's fine. So can we get suggestions for the live stream name? Because it definitely shouldn't be Attempt OBS. No one cares about that. That's boring. So let's get some live stream name suggestions in, please. And let's try and make them 11-inch slong related. Is it 11 inches, Nathan? I think it's more like 9, isn't it? It's fucking big, though. It's really big. Nathan, can you send me a picture of your cup? I'm only joking. My email's in the description below. So I don't need a picture of your cock, Nathan. It's fine. Oh my God, all I see is little Asian cocks now. And then like Nathan would be like, remember this? Right, what we're calling the live stream, peoples. I'm going to get down towards the bottom of the chat because I think we're ending in 10 minutes unless someone throws a tenner in. Yeah, I'm going to start coming down the chat really fast now. This is true. Rachel can't do it all the time. Can you all make sure you like the stream as well, please? If you're too repressed to throw money in, which I totally understand, can you at least like the stream? Oh yeah, I'd like to know how old Justin is. Justin's only 27. Oh wow. I felt like he was a bit older than that. Thoughts on semen retention and the idea of semen being tied to spiritual energy and the fact we can absorb it by not nutting. Lol. Why have you put lol on the end? Do you do that a lot? Because I find that people who do that a lot aren't taking themselves seriously. You might also find that you say, if you know what I mean, quite a lot. So you'll say something that's perfectly fine. And then you'll go, if that makes sense, if you know what I mean, lack of self-worth. Lol is very similar. You might find that you say sorry a lot. Sorry, when you pass people, like in a doorway, for example. Oh, sorry. You're apologizing for being alive. Just a few offerings for you. I agree with this. Thoughts on semen retention. I mean, also, I just think none of it matters. But, you know, from a perspective where you're... I think it's very beneficial to not shoot your load. I'll just say that. I think it's a good practice to practice. I don't. I shoot my load everywhere. Ooh, that's a good question. What's your opinion on homosexuality in general? I think it's trauma. I think it's trauma playing out. I don't think it's natural. Yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. I'm happy to speak about it more. I do speak about it more in my videos. But I'm pretty sure it's trauma playing out. I think I was given a strong distrust of a feminine when I was in my mother's womb because she betrayed me, essentially. She told me I was a girl constantly. There was no doubt in her head that I was a girl. She was literally going, you're a girl, you're a girl, you're a girl, you're a girl. When I came out of her vagina, her first words were, I'm so disappointed. So I have a deep distrust of a feminine, and therefore I won't go anywhere near it. So I'm pretty sure it's trauma. I replied to your questions, by the way, but you didn't read them. Yeah, I really regretted it. I ended the chat in a tantrum, and then as soon as I ended it, I was like, "Damn, Nathan! I'd asked him loads of really good questions." Near when someone said no more Libras. Oh right, you've done it in this chat. I can't really. Can you just do it again, Nathan? I can't really. I mean, it is worth it. It is actually worth it. Please don't be a Virgo. I'm a Scorpio. So I'm at the point where the person is spamming the chat, but I can't see your comments. I wish there was a way of just bringing up one person's comments, especially if they were putting cockpits in. Yeah, and now I'm at this. I've not seen them, Nathan. I don't think it shows me all the comments. So, can you try again? Has anyone else seen Nathan's answers? Does anyone else know if Nathan took the jab or not, and if he has realized, because we all know he did, that it was a massive mistake? Tom, what net worth would you say that a person would need to maintain your lifestyle or a lifestyle similar to yours? Yes, you're coming from not trusting and not flowing. So you think you need to just like I used to, that you need to hoard in the UK and then leave the UK with that hoard because you don't trust that you'll ever be able to earn money once you leave the UK. So the answer to that question would be £2,000 a month, so £24,000 a year for however long you think you'll stay alive. So it's ridiculous, very hard to achieve, going to keep you enslaved. And also, you don't know how long you're going to stay alive. And also to hoard, as I've experienced, you know, I had 12 Bitcoin at one point, you know, I have been a millionaire on paper. So I know what hoarding feels like. It's from fear and it's from scarcity. And it's going to stop you from trusting and flowing. So I would say rather than that perspective, you'd be better off asking yourself, how much money do I need to create on a monthly basis to have a lifestyle like Tom? And the answer is about $1,500. So not much. So can you create? And also, you don't need to aim for a lifestyle like mine straight away. You need to aim, or what I did aim for, and what I would suggest you aim for, is survival. So can I afford to survive? Can I create enough of a monthly income to survive outside of UK? Now, there's a video on English Refugee that shows you how you can do it for about £500 a month in Vietnam. It's not going to be much fun. I mean, it kind of is. I would imagine for you it's not going to be much fun, because I imagine you still need the flashing lights and the distraction of the city. So you're not going to be able to live in a Vietnamese village. I don't think you'd appreciate, I think you might be still so repressed that, and when I say so repressed, I'm not having a go at you. What's a better way of expressing this? You might still be repressed enough, would probably be better than so repressed, because so repressed comes with this energy. He's going to feel judgment, and I'm not judging. I'm just speaking into the reality of where people are at. So you might be repressed enough to still think that forest noises are noises and not like the noises of animals. So therefore, you won't be able to live in a hut in the forest. So this is a difficulty. When we're deeply repressed, we don't appreciate things that are very serving for us, like a wooden hut in the forest, and we want like a sterile apartment in the city, which is obviously going to cost a lot more money. So I would be asking, how much do I need to create a month to get out of the UK? The answer is £1,000 a month. I did show you a video how you can do it for £500 a month, but it's not really accessible for a repressed person. So I think you need to aim to make £1,000 a month. The minute you make £1,000 a month, and obviously it needs to be made in a way where location isn't relevant. Once you hit that, you leave. That would be my advice. Tell us again, Nathan. Are you jibbed? I didn't see the comment either. I think he's lying. Love bites are actually how cats sometimes show affection. Oh, thank you for that. That's good to know, because I was getting very upset about it. Rachel is fed up of spending all her hard-earned money on this stream, so she's gone down to the 2 instead of the usual 5 and the 10. But it's hugely appreciated, because she's a massive, massive supporter. Thanks for being honest about Michael and the money. Michael and the money. Oh, right, yeah, of course. I'll always try and be honest. I'll always be honest. Of course, I can feel like when I'm saying that, I can feel a part of me like, oh, you might upset Michael, but good. Like, if it upsets him, he needs to be upset. I don't think he'll be upset because he's done the work. Obviously not done that much work because he's still living in quite a repressed manner. But he's done a lot of work, so he's not going to get upset by anything I say. But if he does, then there's your gift, bro. Go and do the work. If you're upset, you need to do more work. Nothing anyone says should ever bother you if you're enlightened. So clearly you're not enlightened. So there's the gift. You're upset. Off you pop and do the work. And obviously Michael knows that. So so I can notice a part of me that's saying like, people please, just do what Michael wants. Make it easy for Michael so he's your friend. But no, I don't want a friend based on people pleasing. I want a friend based on authenticity and honesty. And I think he needs to honor himself more and not be so disempowered around money. So, of course, I'm going to say what I think. I always do. How much for another hour, Tom, if folks will donate? Well, I think we're done, aren't we? So I said a tenner to get past 2 hours, and you've just put £4 in. So somebody needs to put £6 in the next minute and a half, and that will get us to 2.5 hours. So we've got a minute and a half, people, for £6. So I'll get to the bottom of the chat and just see if anything interesting is happening. Oh, wow, this is interesting. I'm buying this nice guy act. He's an absolute tosser. I'm not pretending to be a nice guy. I'm a cunt. Why are you projecting that nonsense onto me? A simple Google search shows how much is... So he's getting lost in the animal kicking, but we've spoken about in depth many times. No wonder he left Sheffield. He didn't leave Sheffield because he's empowered and wanted to better himself. No, this person can only understand things from fear. because that's obviously their whole life is fear, projection, noise, and nonsense, and there's no internal introspection whatsoever. So they're obviously projecting their experience onto me. So they think that, one, that's something to be ashamed of. No. It was an amazing part of my life. It taught me so much. And there's nothing like having a horde of plebeians judging you to show you how strong and beautiful you are. I don't run away from anything, mate. I face everything. But obviously, you will never be able to have that perspective. All right, Kung Fu Panda. Kung Fu Panda. Right, so have we got any more money? Are we ending the stream? We're ending the stream. It's now 2 minutes. Okay, I'll do my thank you. It's 2 hours. I'll do my thank yous. You've literally got 10 seconds to keep the stream going with £6. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Fan, for the early one. Very motivating. Justin came in with an early one. Caluso, the 31-year-old enlightened man, almost enlightened man. Incredible. Justin has become a huge supporter. Thank you so much. Anu, I fucking love you. I love your name. I love your energy. I love your essence. Amazing. We never got any name suggestions. Nathan, I just love your cock. It's amazing. Justin, thanks again for the support. Thanks for trying, Rachel, but no one joined you. It's time to go. Sorry, everybody, but I have to get paid. Big love. See you soon.